Imagine being inside a plane that's about to crash, with 275 people of all ages and backgrounds. Among these passengers, a little girl of only 5 years old bravely surprises everyone by saving the plane from a major tragedy. But before I tell you this story, just make sure you're subscribed to the channel because the next videos will be even more exciting. Paula, a radiant mother, watches with a luminous smile as her daughter Sophia, a 5-year-old girl, jumps with joy around the room. The suitcases are packed and their excitement fills the air. Sophia holds her passport with a sparkle in her eyes, while Paula embraces her affectionately, sharing the overflowing emotion in her heart. At the airport, the hustle and bustle are intense. People rush to check in, go through security, and find their boarding gates. Amidst all this commotion, there's a scene that stands out. Sophia dances spiritedly to the sound of music playing from somewhere nearby. Her smile infects the other passengers passing by, some even stop for a moment to appreciate her infectious energy. She spins, jumps, and twirls as if she's in her own fantasy world, where music is her only companion. Her brown hair flies in the air as she moves with grace and lightness, like a ballerina on an imaginary stage. Sophia's bright eyes reflect the pure joy she feels, not caring who's watching. She's completely immersed in her dance, in her own bubble of happiness. As Sophia dances, the people around can't help but smile. Some even start to clap, encouraging her to continue. It's as if, for a moment, the stress and rush of the airport disappear, replaced by the innocence and pure joy of a child. Sophia's mother watches with tenderness as her daughter enjoys herself. She knows this is just one of the many little adventures they'll share together in life. To her, seeing the world through Sophia's curious and cheerful eyes is a true blessing. While dancing, Sophia has no idea of the impact she's having on the other passengers. For her, it's just another opportunity to have fun, to express her inner joy in a way only a child can. They walk through the airport hand in hand, with Sophia chattering excitedly about all the adventures she hopes to have at Disney. Paula smiles, marveling at her daughter's imagination and enthusiasm. They share looks full of complicity, ready to embark together on this magical adventure. Before boarding, mother and daughter decide to make a special stop at a park inside the airport. Sophia runs towards the colorful slide, her eyes shining with excitement. She's wearing a blue dress with flower prints, her favorite piece for special occasions like this. Her mother, Paula, smiles at seeing her so happy. The park is an oasis of fun amidst the airport's hustle and bustle. There are swings, climbs, and even a small sand area to play. Paula and Sophia explore every corner, enjoying every moment together before the flight. The mother pushes Sophia on the swing, laughing along with her as her daughter screams with joy. As they play, Paula realizes how quickly time passes. She wishes she could freeze that moment forever, capturing her daughter's pure happiness as she plays carefree. But she knows that new adventures await them at their destination, and she's eager to share them with Sophia. After a while, mother and daughter sit on a nearby bench to rest. Sophia jumps into Paula's lap, hugging her tightly. The sun shines gently through the airport windows, creating a calm and serene atmosphere. It's a moment of calm before the next stage of their journey. On the plane, Paula and Sophia settle into their seats, eager for takeoff. Sophia presses her face against the window, barely able to wait to see the clouds up there. Paula watches with tenderness, thrilled to be sharing this special moment with her daughter. During the flight, mother and daughter browse through the plane's entertainment catalog together, planning which movies to watch and which snacks to share. Time seems to fly as they laugh, talk, and create precious memories together. Sophia is thrilled at the idea of flying to a new place. She opens her backpack and takes out a drawing notebook and a set of colored pencils. With great concentration, she begins to draw, her pencils dancing across the paper as she creates a world of fantasy. Paula watches her daughter with a loving smile, admiring Sophia's creativity and imagination, seeing how each stroke reveals a little more about the girl's curious mind. As Sophia draws, Paula remembers her daughter's first scribbles, when she could barely hold a pencil in her small hands. Now, seeing her express herself through art is a source of pride for the mother. Sophia is immersed in her world of colors and shapes, completely absorbed in her creation. She draws birds flying in the sky, magical castles, and colorful flowers. Each drawing is a window into Sophia's fertile imagination, a glimpse of the world that exists within her. The trip is more than just an adventure for Sophia and her mother Paula. It's a moment of renewal and hope after a difficult period. Sophia's parents' divorce was a painful moment, full of tears and uncertainties. But now, as they are together on the plane, they feel a sense of relief and freedom. Paula looks at Sophia, admiring her daughter's courage and resilience. She knows it hasn't been easy for Sophia to deal with her parents' separation, but the way the girl faced the situation with strength and determination fills Paula's heart with pride. This trip is an opportunity for them to leave behind the sorrows of the past and look towards a future full of possibilities. As the plane cuts through the skies, they talk about their plans for the trip, share laughs, and dreams for the future. The weight of the divorce begins to slowly dissipate, replaced by the joy of being together and the excitement of exploring a new destination together. Sophia looks out the airplane window, watching the clouds pass by quickly. She feels a sense of freedom and excitement, knowing that no matter what happens, they will always have each other. For Paula, this trip is a reminder that even in the darkest moments, there is always light on the horizon. She looks at Sophia and smiles, feeling grateful for the opportunity to share happy moments with her daughter. During the flight, the once serene and blue sky begins to rapidly transform. Large dark clouds form on the horizon, announcing the imminent arrival of an approaching storm. The plane, which was smoothly gliding through the air, now begins to tremble with the first gusts of wind. Sophia firmly grips the armrest of her seat, her eyes wide with surprise and a touch of fear. She looks to her mother for comfort, and Paula smiles reassuringly, trying to convey confidence to her daughter. Despite her own concerns, Paula knows she needs to be strong for Sophia. As the storm intensifies outside, the plane is violently shaken by the air currents. The sound of the wind howling against the fuselage is deafening, and the lights inside the cabin flicker intermittently. Flight attendants instruct passengers to remain in their seats and fasten their seat belts, while the crew prepares to navigate through the turbulence. For Sophia, each jolt of the plane feels like an exhilarating and frightening roller coaster ride at the same time. She squeezes her eyes shut tightly, silently praying for the storm to pass quickly. Meanwhile, Paula keeps a comforting hand on her daughter's shoulder, offering her support and unconditional love. Despite the fear they both feel, mother and daughter remain together, facing the storm side by side. And as the plane sways and trembles under the power of the elements, they find strength in each other. A deafening roar echoed through the plane cabin as lightning struck the aircraft. Lights flash frantically, systems are disabled, and the sound of thunder reverberates through the air. Panic spreads among the passengers, filling the interior of the plane with screams of fear and anxiety. Sophia clings tightly to the armrest of her seat, her eyes wide with terror. She looks to her mother for comfort, but even Paula feels her heart race with the intensity of the moment. The smell of burning electricity fills the cabin, creating an even more oppressive atmosphere. Flight attendants rush back and forth, trying to calm the passengers and assure them that they are safe. But the tension in the air is palpable, and many passengers silently pray for a happy ending to this ordeal. As the plane continues to shake and tremble, the pilot makes an announcement over the sound system, urging passengers to remain calm and follow the crew's instructions. He informs them that the lightning has damaged some systems, but they are doing their best to maintain control of the aircraft. For Sophia and her mother, each moment feels like an eternity. They cling to each other, praying that the plane will weather the storm and land safely. The pilot and the team in the cockpit are in a race against time. They struggle to maintain control of the plane as the damaged systems make each maneuver more challenging. Sweat beads down the pilot's tense face, his hands steady on the controls as he tries to stabilize the aircraft. Meanwhile, the flight attendants work tirelessly to ensure the safety of the passengers. They walk through the aisles, offering words of comfort and directing everyone to remain in their seats and keep their seat belts fastened. Inside the plane, chaos reigns. Some passengers pray silently, while others hold each other's hands for mutual support. The sound of the wind roaring outside is accompanied by the constant hum of the engines, creating a frightening cacophony that fills the cabin. Despite the challenges, the pilot and his team remain calm and focused. They know that every decision they make could be crucial to ensuring the safe return of the aircraft to the ground. With skill and determination, the pilot and his team show true courage and bravery. They represent the last line of defense between the passengers and the imminent danger, and they are determined to fulfill their mission, no matter how difficult it may be. Faced with the electrical failure that has left the plane in a critical situation, the flight attendant, with a firm and determined voice, suggests an unlikely solution, opening a small access in the fuselage to try to reconnect the damaged electrical systems. Her face conveys seriousness mixed with a hint of hope as she explains the idea to the pilot and the team in the cockpit. The pilot quickly evaluates the suggestion, weighing the risks and benefits. With time running out and options dwindling, he decides to proceed with the plan. With the help of the maintenance team on board, they prepare to open the access in the plane's fuselage, even if it means exposing the aircraft to the dangerous elements outside. Meanwhile, the passengers watch with apprehension, some holding their breath while others murmur among themselves in a mixture of concern and hope. The sound of tools being prepared resonates through the cabin, creating a sense of urgency in the air. Finally, with a dull hum, the small access is opened in the fuselage. A rush of cold air enters the cabin, along with the faint sunlight struggling to penetrate through the dark clouds. The maintenance team starts working quickly, connecting cables and wires in the hope of restoring at least part of the electrical systems. For Sophia and her mother, every moment feels like an eternity. They hold on to each other, silently praying for the plan to work and for them to return safely to the ground. The tension in the air is palpable. Faced with the electrical failure that has left the plane in a critical situation, the flight attendant, with a firm and determined voice, suggests an unlikely solution, opening a small access in the fuselage to try to reconnect the damaged electrical systems. Her face conveys seriousness mixed with a hint of hope as she explains the idea to the pilot and the team in the cockpit. The pilot and the team in the cockpit are in a race against time. They struggle to maintain control of the plane as the damaged systems make each maneuver more challenging. Sweat beads down the pilot's tense face as he tries to stabilize the aircraft. Meanwhile, the flight attendants work tirelessly to ensure the safety of the passengers. They walk through the aisles, offering words of comfort and directing everyone to remain in their seats and keep their seat belts fastened. Inside the plane, chaos reigns. Some passengers pray silently, while others hold each other's hands for mutual support. The sound of the wind roaring outside is accompanied by the constant hum of the engines, creating a frightening cacophony that fills the cabin. The pilot and his team know that every decision they make could be crucial to ensuring the safe return of the aircraft to the ground. Sophia feels her heart beating faster as she hears the pilot ask for her help. She looks to her mother for support, and even with a worried expression, Paula nods, encouraging her to proceed. With a lump in her throat, Sophia volunteers to go through the access and try to reconnect the cables, even aware of the imminent danger. The pilot looks at Sophia with admiration and gratitude. He knows that entrusting this task to a child is risky, but he also understands that they don't have many options. With a nod, he gives permission, and Sophia prepares for the task she never imagined she would face. With determination overcoming fear, Sophia advances towards the access in the fuselage. The wind blows strongly, tossing her hair as she clings to the tools provided by the onboard team. Her steps are hesitant at first, but as she approaches the access, she gains confidence, driven by the desire to help save the plane and everyone on board. With trembling hands, Sophia begins to follow the pilot's instructions via radio. She focuses on every word, on every guidance, as she tries to connect the cables and restore the plane's systems. The sound of the radio echoes through the cabin, mixing with the hum of the engines and the noise of the storm outside. Every movement is careful and calculated as she tries to connect the cables and wires in the best way possible. Passengers watch with admiration and apprehension as Sophia works tirelessly. Some hold each other's hands in silence, while others whisper words of encouragement and hope. The atmosphere in the cabin is tense, but there's also a sense of unity, everyone rooting for Sophia's success and the safe return of the plane to the ground. Each connection she makes is a step towards safety, a ray of hope amidst the darkness of the storm. Meanwhile, the pilot closely monitors Sophia's progress through the radio. His eyes are fixed on the control instruments as he eagerly awaits any sign of improvement in the systems. Every second feels like an eternity, and the weight of responsibility hangs heavy on his shoulders. Finally, with a sigh of relief, Sophia connects the last cable. She holds her breath, waiting for a response. And then, like a miracle, the systems begin to restore themselves. Lights flicker on, monitors come back to life, and the plane seems to gain a new energy. A collective sigh of relief sweeps through the cabin as passengers realize the worst seems to be over. Sophia smiles gratefully, feeling a weight lifted off her shoulders. She looks at her mother, whose eyes are filled with pride and relief. The work is done, and now all that's left is to wait and see if the makeshift solution will be enough to bring the plane back to safety. With fingers crossed and hearts beating fast, everyone on board awaits the end of the journey. The pilot turns to Sophia with a grateful smile, his eyes shining with admiration. "You're a true hero," he says, his voice conveying sincerity and respect. Passengers applaud warmly, expressing their gratitude for the young girl's courage and determination. Sophia smiles shyly, a warm pride filling her chest. She feels like she's just accomplished something incredible, something she never imagined she'd be capable of. And now, looking at the pilot's grateful face and hearing the passengers' applause, she knows it's true, she's a hero. With the crisis averted and the systems restored, the flight continues without major issues. Passengers relax in their seats, grateful for the happy ending to this turbulent journey. The atmosphere on board is one of relief and gratitude, everyone sharing a sense of unity after overcoming the challenge. As the plane cuts through the skies, the sun begins to peek timidly through the clouds, illuminating the cabin with a gentle light. It's as if even the sky itself is celebrating Sophia's courage and the spirit of solidarity that united everyone on board. And as the flight continues towards its final destination, one thing is certain: the story of the brave girl who saved the day will be remembered and shared for a long time. Finally, the plane begins to descend, and Sophia feels butterflies in her stomach mixed with an indescribable excitement. They disembark and are greeted by the warmth of the Florida sun and the magic that permeates the air. Entering the park, Sophia is engulfed in an explosion of colors and music. She holds tightly to her mother's hand, her eyes shining at the sight of Cinderella's castle in the distance. Paula smiles at seeing the happiness on her daughter's face, and together they begin to explore this world of dreams. Sophia's story of courage spreads quickly, like wildfire in a forest, reaching every corner of the world. Newspapers splash emotional headlines, social media buzzes with posts of admiration, and even television news programs dedicate time to tell the story of the young heroine. For Sophia, the sudden attention is overwhelming. She is flooded with messages of support and gratitude from people around the globe. Letters arrive from distant places, all expressing admiration for the courage and determination of the 5-year-old girl who saved an entire plane in the midst of a storm. In her hometown, Sophia is welcomed as a true celebrity. The streets are decorated with posters and banners in her honor, and a crowd gathers to applaud her as she passes by. It's a warm and emotional reception, and Sophia feels incredibly grateful for the love and support of everyone around her. But despite all the attention, Sophia remains humble and kind. She doesn't consider herself a hero, just a brave girl who did what needed to be done. She thanks everyone who supports her, but knows that the true credit belongs to the people who worked together to overcome the crisis. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave your like and tell me here in the comments, if you were on that plane, would you have the same courage that Sophia had? And until the next video.